Hi Karen, how you doing? Okay, I've got your bid for Denver, Colorado for the Winter Olympics, and I just want to mention that this is the better starts, initial rough drafts I've seen while teaching this class, and I've taught this class several times. So, really, really good job here. I think you've done a fantastic job. I think one of the most impressive things I've seen is that you're talking about hosting to split the events into different zones, and I think that's smart. It shows that you're doing your research. It shows that you're really thinking about logical solutions to real world problems. Quite often, the Winter Olympics are spread through geographic locations, and I've hinted at that to a lot of students. Um, but you've really nailed it. So great job there. You mentioned that the distance and the time between the different zones could present a problem, but I don't think it's that much of a problem. I know you said the longest drive time would be 3 hours, but think about it. If you're going to spectate, to be a spectator for a sport that is in a remote location, that has adequate mountains and things like that, it's not really likely that you're going to be commuting back and forth to the central locale of downtown proper. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't really see that being an issue. Now, of course, there are going to be spectators that will be staying, 3 hours away and that want to go downtown. And in that case, we take a look at the transportation infrastructure and is it adequate? Is it capable of holding that type of traffic? And I think, knowing Denver, I think it is. But nonetheless, you definitely want to talk about that a little bit, pointing to research in terms of the amount of people that Colorado public transportation is capable of moving via bus, train, tram, etc. So that's a pretty important consideration too. And you really nailed some things here, like with the Colorado Springs Olympic Training Center and high altitude training centers and things like that. So really, really great job there. You've done a great job talking about pre-existing venues that are able to be used. You've also done a fantastic job with the hotel rooms. I think a lot of students kind of struggled with that at first. But I think you said there's 34,000 hotel rooms, which is way more than enough. I don't want to scan through this and make you dizzy to try to find that statistic, but you definitely did mention the number of hotel rooms that are available. So that's really fantastic job. Now, just going through your work, your citations, everything is good. Let me take a look at your citations. Oh, yeah, you want to format these. Yeah, definitely. Let's see what you got here. Definitely. These need to be formatted. Let's go over to Purdue OWL. And RimCAD, we use CMS, Chicago Manual style. But Purdue OWL is a really, it's a well-respected resource for education and in the writing lab in terms of formatting your resources. So be sure to take a look at this. You can also go to Citation Machine just to kind of brush up on Citation Machine is not considered an educational, a high respected educational resource, but nonetheless, you can go ahead and once you format your citations, you can go over to Citation Machine just to take a look to see how their Chicago manual is, just to compare the two, compare apples to apples, so to speak. So just make sure that you format those resources. And then I've got this over here. I've got a couple notes on your particular post, and I think you've covered everything. I have that basic hit list right here. This is the one I've included, weather, venues, sporting. You've really done a great job addressing each one of these. But I want you to kind of concentrate on these. Public transportation, which you didn't mention much. And I think that's really, really an important consideration. Hospitals and clinics. So don't forget, when you have a couple million people converging on a central location, you really have to make sure that there is enough medical resources available and readily available, not only in an emergency capacity, but also regular hospitals. And then visual inspiration. That's one thing I really didn't see in your paper very much, is that where are you going to go with visual inspiration? I think, the natural tendency would be to take a look at the historic tradition of said location specifically. And speaking of Western United States, we would probably be taking a look at at the indigenous peoples of that area and the American Indians and Native Americans, I should say, and see if you can find some visual solutions there, or if you have other ideas of how you want to represent visually the graphics that we'll be creating for this project, then by all means, we really want to hear about it in your final presentation, which is due next week. Okay, that's all I have. I think you did a fantastic job. Really, really good job. So any questions, comments, concerns, or if I can clarify anything moving forward, please feel free to just let me know and I'll be glad to do so. Thanks, Karen. Good job.